Alright, here we are in game and we currently have Plague v4 injected. Just keep in mind that this is an alpha build of the cheat, so this is not the finished product yet. Although you guys can still gain access to Plague Alpha, it is currently public right now if you guys want to go and check it out yourselves. But with that being said, let's get right into the review. Starting off on the scripts tab. It's kind of hard to find scripts for Plague in my opinion. There are a few scattered around, but there's no definitive place in the forum for them. There are two scripts on the download page for v4, and you might be able to find some in the Discord server as well, but it isn't completely finished yet, so just keep that in mind. Moving on to the skins tab, the Skinchanger is pretty simple, not too hard to understand. First of all, you have all your models, so what knife model you want, what glove model you want, agent models, which change your agent skin, so if I do that, then there you go, I have a different agent skin. And then you also have mask models. As for actually applying a skin to a gun, we're going to go ahead and change this AK Bloodsport to an AK Red Lamb. So we're going to want to make sure that we are selected to the AK-47, and we can actually just go ahead and search red, and there you go, red laminate right there. We can select the seed, the wear, and the stat track values for it as well. Now you might notice that we actually don't have a red laminate right now. That's because we haven't updated it yet. So if I press full update right here, it'll update this weapon to a red laminate. You can also search for skins that aren't on the AK or any other gun. So if you uncheck filter by weapon here, you'll notice that we have every single skin in the game to choose from. So I don't know, let's just say I want the Prince as my AK skin. I don't know why you would want this, but you know, you can have it. Oh, and also make sure you guys save your skin config. It doesn't save with the cheat itself, it saves with the skin config. So once you're done applying all of your skins, make sure you press save right here, and every time you load up the cheat, make sure you press load right here. All right, let's go ahead and look through the visuals tab now. They do have a grenade helper, which you can enable. I don't prefer to enable it, but basically it just lets you set up specific lineups for different nades around any map. You have others, which are bullet tracers. So if I shoot right here, you'll be able to see my tracer. Server impacts, which you can see the impacts on the walls there. Save kill feed, which will save your kill feed. Grenade proximity warning, which mainly is used for HVH, but I guess you could also use it for legit cheating. You have grenade prediction, which shows the path of your grenade. Penetration crosshair, which shows you what you can penetrate and what you can't. So as you can see, the crosshair in the middle is white right now because I can't penetrate that. But if I go ahead and move over to this wall right here, you see it turns green, meaning I can penetrate it. And sniper crosshair, which is just forcing your crosshair so you still have a crosshair when you're holding a sniper out. You got night mode, which just changes the darkness or the brightness of the map overall. Ambient light, which, good lord, please never use ambient light. Motion blur, and although this would be really bad for legit cheating in my opinion, HVH, I could totally see this being sick. And you have sunset mode. I like sunset mode. You guys should definitely use sunset mode. For weather, you can either have it disabled, have rain on, or have snow on. You can add fog, and you can add bloom, which changes the world exposure and the bloom scale. There's a skybox changer, which you can select from many different skyboxes. Third person, which usually is used in HVH and semi-rage. Also, you can bind third person. You can basically actually bind every single feature. Just letting you guys know. Scaleform HUD, I like this one a lot. It actually puts your HUD to the older version of CSGO. Gives me a lot of nostalgia. We got field of view, which is your client field of view. Your view model field of view, which is your view model field of view. And you have a view model changer, so you can change the position of your view model however you'd like. Removals, and they have removals for recoil, post-processing, smoke, zoom, scope, view bob, and flash. Moving on to players. Obviously, they have enable ESP. You have 4 different types of groups: enemies, items, C4, and local. You have dormancy, which is what shows when the players are dormant. Box ESP, which is this box right around the player model. Name, which is the player name, and it's right above this box right here. You have health, which you can actually set a custom color like I have here. By default, it's this green, but I just like it more red. It matches with everything else. You can show the text, so you can actually see what number health they're on, and you can have it animated. You can have weapons as well, which is this little knife down here. You can have an as text, icon, or both. That's what the text looks like. An ammo bar, which would just show up right beneath here, and it's just showing how much ammo is left in their gun. The only reason it's not showing up is because they have a knife out, and knives obviously don't have ammo. They have glow, which I actually do have on. If I turn it on and off, you guys can see it better. Skeleton, which shows the player skeleton. Radar, which reveals where the enemies are on the radar. You have a bunch of different flags that you can put that come up in the top right hand corner of the box. So if I put, for example, armor, it'll show that this guy is armor. You also have out of view indicators, which show enemies out of view with an arrow. So for example, if I look over this way, that guy is represented by that arrow right there. And you have hit marker, 2 selections for hit marker, screen, and world. On to chams, you have a bunch of different groups, so you guys can really customize this how you'd like. Visible and hidden chams as per usual. And you have ragdolls, so if you have ragdolls on, the ragdoll of the enemy will still have the chams. Currently, they have 4 different types of material: flat, material, animated, and shiny. And you have an overlay color, which you can change to basically anything. You know what? I kind of actually like that. I think I might keep that on. You can also have an overlay wireframe, which just brightens it up a little bit. All right, on to the Legitbot, and the Legitbot is actually pretty simple. So you have your enable aimbot up here, which obviously you can set to a bind. You have checks for flash, smoke, and airborne. Basically, that means if you're flashed, or if you're shooting through smoke, or if you're airborne, the aimbot will not activate. And this always on applies to these checks. Editor No Hyper here. I just want to let you guys know that that always on checkbox actually applies to the aimbot. Basically how it works is if you have the enable aimbot on but you have the always on off, it'll act like it's just binded to left click, so you don't actually have to go in and bind a key if you don't want to. Just letting you guys know. You have all the different groups for all the different weapons, including separate groups for scout and ops. You have your usuals down here: FOV, hitbox. Currently there are only 4 hitboxes. I'd like to see more hitboxes added in the future. Smooth pitch and smooth yaw, and you have the option to aim at backtrack as well. You have RCS, which when you enable it, you get to customize the RCS pitch and the RCS yaw. You also have backtrack, which can range from 0 to 200. And you have Triggerbot. You can set a custom delay, and this is in milliseconds, by the way. And you can set a custom hit chance. And obviously, yes, you can bind it. All right, let's move on to the Rage and the Anti-Aim tab. Starting off with Rage, obviously you have to enable it, and you got your options: auto fire, limit FOV, and silent. Double tap, hide shots, you know the deal. And you can also select what group you want to work with. You have auto stop, and you also have different auto stop conditions that you can choose from. You have fake lag correction, auto scope, you have min damage, and you have auto wall min damage, and you can set overrides by right clicking and setting a bind to them. I really like this. You can actually scale the damage to health, which is super nice, and your hit chance and accuracy boost. Over here you have your target section, which includes your hitboxes, your multi-points, your save points, and your save point mode. You can also have static multi-point on or off. You also have Bane prefers, so I have it on lethal, and force body aim, which I also have on lethal. And obviously if you select a different group, everything is customizable to however you guys would want to do it. Moving on to anti-aim, again, you can just enable it. There's disablers, so you won't have anti-aim during freeze time. At targets is usually what you want to have on. There's also auto direction, edge yaw, and jitter. With jitter, you can change the jitter range and the jitter offset, and they also have body lean, static, and jitter. Here we have the fake lag, and you have a randomization from 0 to 100, and you have a lag limit, which goes all the way up to 15. Here's your fake angle. You can obviously enable it. You can invert it if you'd like. They also have an avoid overlap feature and a fake desync feature. They have a desync on shot drop down, which lets you select what your desync does on shot. They have a desync freestanding drop down as well, which lets you either disable it, peek reel, or hide your reel. You have an inverter, and you have LBY modes. I'm gonna show you guys some clips of the HVH in action. Thank you to Practicat for these clips, by the way. He's an absolute G. So yeah, that's the Ragebot in action. And the final thing we're going to look at is this Misc tab right here. Starting off in the general Misc section, you can override the menu color to whatever you'd like. You have event logs, which just shows you events such as damage and stuff like that. You have your windows, so you can have a keybinds window and you can have a spectators list window. They have anti-OBS, which hides certain things in your visuals. I don't think it hides chams, but I'm pretty sure it hides box ESP and everything like that. They have one hit sound in the cheat at the moment, just the default hit sound. They have a knife bot, which will automatically knife players. This is mostly used in HVH. They have a buy bot, again, mostly used in HVH. And you can select your primary, your secondary weapon, and utilities. And they have a clan tag spammer. Obviously, you have your config section. This is pretty simple. These are all of your configs that you have. If you want to make a new config, just type whatever name in here and press create, and it'll create a new config in the config selection. Obviously, you can save and load configs, and you can also open the config folder. As for movement, they have bunny hop, which, you know, is just bunny hop. Everybody knows what bunny hop is. They have jump bug. They have edge jump, edge bug, and mini jump. And all of these different things you can bind to a different key. They have fast stop, which basically counter strafes for you. So instead of gliding a little too far when you stop moving, it just stops you automatically. Walk, which is basically just slow walk. That's used in HVH. You can select a custom walk speed as well. Fake duck, which obviously, yes, you can bind. Leg movement, this is for sliding. A key strafer, which is just your normal key strafer. And auto peek. They have two different auto peek modes, on shot and on key release. I think that basically wraps up my review / showcase of Plague. If you guys enjoy what you guys see, then you guys can check out Plague yourselves with a link in the description down below. Again, thank you to Plaguecheat for sponsoring this video. I'm No Hyper, and I'll see you guys later. Peace.